Okay, so good morning. Without wasting time, we will start now. May I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll continue. I will take just review of the previous topic. See, last time we discussed about in detail about the construction and somewhat working of this or N-channel e-MOSFET. Why it is titled as N type or why it is titled as enhancement. That also we discussed. Uh, During working, initially we'll consider when that VGG or VGS is equals to 0 volt, no field will get generated at the gate terminal, and that's why no charge carriers, minority charge carriers, due to the positive potential applied to the gate, whatever charge carriers will get attracted within this area between drain and source region. As that VGS will be 0, no charge carriers will going on to attract. So the region remain between drain and source that will be of P type, right? And whatever may be the value of this VDD, that is nothing but VDS, which is applied across drain to source of that device, current will going on to remain as is 0. Am I right? These things last time already we discussed why it will going on to remain as a 0, because this drain region with respect to substrate, it remains as a reverse bias junction, and due to that reverse bias PN junction, no charge carrier will going on to allowed to pass towards the P, is it? Now, uh, I will take one example. Suppose 1 volt is applied at the gate terminal of this device. If this VGG is equals to 1 volt, that is nothing but VGS equals to 1 volt. Small field, positive field, it will get generated at the gate. I will going to show it like this, right? Due to that, few number of minority charge carriers will going on to attract over here. Suppose this much charge carrier gets attracted due to the 1 volt applied to the gate terminal, right? But see, at the same time, whatever positive charge carriers are there, they will get repelled. Positive charge carriers will get repelled over here by the positive potential applied to the gate terminal, is it? And that vacant space of that positive charge carrier, it will get refilled by the minority charge carriers, which get attracted due to the positive potential applied to the gate terminal. Now see, due to the application of small gate to source voltage, positive gate to source voltage, few positive charge carriers will get repelled and it will get replaced by attracted negative charge carriers. But still, there is somewhat positive region or positive charge carriers remain at the edge of that SiO2 between drain and source region. And that's why whatever may be the value of this VDD now, that means VDS, again still that current will going on to remain as a 0, right? If we increase, that means that ID initially when VGS was 0, it was 0. Again, if it is of 1 volt, still it will going on to remain as a 0. Now, if still I increase that VGS from 1 volt to 2 volt, again somewhat more positive field will get applied, and by that somewhat more positive charge carriers from this place, it will get repelled like this, and that space will get refilled by the negative charge carrier like this. Am I right? But still you will observe at the edge of that SiO2, few positive charge carriers are still remain over there, is it? And hence it will not going on to allow the flow of current through it. Now we'll consider if 3 volt is applied at the gate with respect to source, positive 3 volt, and by that, if at the edge of this SiO2, all positive charge carriers get repelled towards the substrate and get replaced by the electrons. Is it visible to all? See, at 3 volts of gate to source volt, what is happening? The small layer of negative charge carriers get formed between drain and source. Am I right? And within that region, now there is no any positive charge carrier. So here we can say a thin channel will get formed due to the accumulated negative charge carriers between drain and source, or at the edge of that SiO2 between drain and source. A very thin layer of negative charge carrier, attracted negative charge carrier. But when it is happening, when we are applying 3 volts, if the applied gate to source voltage is less than 3 volts, that layer will get formed, but still some charge carriers available over there will be positive, and that will not going on to allow the current flow. Right. Now see, during this case, when that VGS is equals to 3 volts, already I told a thin layer will going on to form between drain and source. And now if I apply this VDD as a non-zero, that means somewhat constant, few number of charge carriers will start to flow from drain through that thin form layer of negative type, then towards the source, and it will come back towards the negative of this DC source. Is it clear? What is happening when that thin layer will get formed, a thin channel will get formed between drain and source, and when we will go on to increase this VDD from 0 to onward, small number of charge carriers will start to move, start to migrate. That means here we can say there will be a small amount of current, right? And this 3 volt at which initial conduction of that device takes place, or small conduction of that device takes place, that voltage is known as VGS threshold, VGS TH, or in short, it is also written as VT. So this thing last time we discussed, is it? Now see, if I kept this VGS as a 3 volts only, already I told a thin channel is formed, right? Even if I increase this VDD somewhat with more value, that channel, it will not going on to allow the flow of more number of charge carriers because its width is very thin, is it? As its width is very thin, there will be a capacity of flow of very few number of charge carriers, and that's why that current will remain very small, is it? If we have to increase the amount of this current, so what we have to do, we have to increase the density of this channel, which is formed between drain and source. When the density of that accumulated charge carrier will get increased, that means we can say its current handling capacity also will get increased. Am I right? So see, if we increase this VGS to 4 volts, what will going on to happen? Now, I will just remove all these arrowheads, which I tried to show how that negative charge carriers gets accumulate. So see, initially a thin layer was there due to the application of that VGS equals to VT, and that's why a very thin channel was formed, right? Now, what we are doing, we are increasing that VGS to 4 volts. What will going on to happen? Somewhat more number of electrons will get attracted like this. Is it okay? So as compared to when VGS was 3, when it will be of 4 volt, more number of minority charge carriers will get attracted. That means the density of that channel form, the density of negative charge carriers accumulated at the edge of that SiO2 between drain to source, it will get increased. And when that density will get increased, what we can say, its current handling capacity also will get increased. Is it? Again, if I increase this VDD from 0 to onward, what I will consider the amount of current flowing through the channel, it will go to 10 milliamperes. Am I right? Okay. If I increase this VGS from 4 volts to 5 volt, right? Instead of 10 milli, just consider here, if that current increases to 5 milliamperes, right? If I increase this VGS from 4 to 5 again, what will going on to happen? The density of that accumulated charge carrier again will get increased. Right now, it will be somewhat more as compared to when VGS was equals to 4, right? So when it will be 5, density will get increased. That means its current handling capacity also will get increased. That means the current passing through that channel as the density increases, also will get increased. So here we can consider that current reaches to suppose 10 milliamperes. Okay. Are you getting up to over here? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will consider that VGS again still somewhat more voltage at 6 volt. Again that density will get somewhat increased like this. You will observe now that form channel, it is more thick as compared to previous cases due to increase in what? That field, positive field applied to the gate terminal. And that's why the current handling capacity of that channel also will get increased. Here, I will consider if that current reaches to 20 milliamp. By increasing this VDD or by keeping this VDD at non-zero, now due to that, whatever drain current will flow, it will be of 20 milli. But when that increased VGS is to 6 volts. Now, at this condition, we will consider this VGS is as a VGS max. VGS max means what? Even if I try to increase it to 7 volt, but when it was at 6 volt, all the minorities gets attracted. Now, in the remaining that in that substrate region, now no minority charge carriers are available, right? So even if we increase this VGS to 7 volt, that density will not going on to improve. It will not going on to increase, is it? So how much will be the value of drain current when VGS will be 7? For the during the application of non-zero VDD, how much will be the value of ID? What do you think? Will it get increased? Will it get decreased, or will remain same as of 20 milli? What do you think? Not getting? Okay. I will take one more supportive example for this. Consider in this P type of substrate, majority charge carrier, that is holes available are suppose 1 lakh. Okay. And minorities, that is electrons, available are only 1000. Is it okay? This is our consideration. Majority charge carriers, that is holes, present in this P type of substrate is how much? Just imagine, just consider. It is of 1 lakh, and minorities, that is electrons, available in the same P type of substrate is only 1000. As electrons are only 1000, it is known as a minority, which is very, very small as compared to 1 lakh number of holes. So is it okay? We are taking one example. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. See, when we will apply, and I will go on to repeat it again for proper understanding purpose. When I will apply this VGS by this VGG as a 0 volt, first case. Okay. How much will be the attracted minority charge carrier? The attracted minority charge carrier between this region, drain to source. It will not going on to absorb. It will not going on to attract, or it will not going on to travel towards the positive gate terminal, because last time already I told there is a SiO2 layer which is acting as an insulator, right? So when I will apply VGS equals to 0, first case, the attracted minority charge carrier, if it is off, we can say 0. No minorities will going on to attract. Am I right? Because when VGS is 0, the field generated, it is of no potential, right now. And that's why no minorities will going on to attract. If I applied 1 volt, and due to that 1 volt, if only one minority charge carrier will get attract by the application of VGS equals to only 1 volt, how many minorities will get attract over here? Only 1. By 2 volt, that VGS equals to 2 volt, if 10 minorities will get attract. Agree? But that 10 minority charge carriers are not sufficient to form that thin channel. Is it? By the application of, we can say again, of 3 volt, if attracted minority charge carriers are, for example, I will take here as a 50 minorities. Okay. And that 50 minorities will go on to occupy or will go on to form a complete layer from drain to source, a thin layer. Initially, I told the thin layer will go on to form by the application of VGS equals to VT. And that 50 minority charge carriers are now responsible to handle the current of 1 milliampere. Is it okay? Now, what I will do, I am increasing this VGS equals to 4 volt from 3 to 4. Minorities, it will get increased. Suppose it is of, I will call it as suppose 150 minorities. What is happening? Can you compare the density of that form channel between drain to source? Initially, 0 charge carrier was there, negative charge carrier. By the application of VGS 1 volt, only one minority gets attracted. By the application of VGS equals to 2, that number of minorities attracted becomes 10, but still it is not capable to also handle the current through them. Now, by the application of VGS equals to VT equals, that minority becomes 50. Am I right? And when it becomes 50, we are considering there is a formation of a single layer, a thin layer between drain to source, right? And that 50 minorities, whenever we will go on to apply somewhat non-zero VDS, that 50 minorities will go on to migrate like this. And by that, the current becomes only 1 milliampere. Am I right? Now, if we increase that VGS from 3 to 4, what is happening? Again, more minorities will get attracted. Initially or previously it was 50, now it becomes 150. That means the density of accumulated charge carrier gets increased. And as accumulated charge carrier density increases, its current handling capacity also gets increased. So what I considered, due to that 150 minority, now current becomes 5 milliampere. Okay. Now, if still I increase that VGS from 4 to 5, right? When it will go to 4 to 5, I will consider here 400 minorities will get attracted. Are you agreeing? By that 400 minorities, that means the channel density it becomes 400 minorities. There are 400 minorities negative charge carriers accumulated at the edge of that SiO2. And when again we will increase this VDD from 0 to onward, what will be going to happen? The flow of charge carrier, number of flow of charge carrier between this drain to source will become 400. That is greater than that of previous. And that's why, due to that 400 minority charge carrier and their migration, the current also will get increased from 5 milli to 12 milli. Are you agree with this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, what I will do, again, I will increase that VGS from 5 to 6. By that 5 to 6, I will consider all minorities, that is 1000, will get attracted. All that minorities, that is total or the density or the number of minority charge carriers accumulated between this region, it goes to 1000, and that is nothing but the maximum available minority charge carriers in that P-type of substrate. Right. Again, if I increase this VDD from 0 to onward, what will be going to happen? The total number of flow of charge carriers between this region, it will be of 1000. Previously, it was only 4000. Right. Due to that, what I can say, whenever 1000 minorities will start to flow, the current also will get increased as compared to previous case. In previous case, I consider the flow of charge carrier at 400, and due to that the current was 12 milli. Now the flow of minority will become 1000, and that's what I can say, the current will become 20 milli. So are you agree with this? Whatever example I taken, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now we will not going on to stop. what I will do, I will increase that VGS from 6 to 7. Is it? That means the generated field at the gate, I can say it is more stronger as compared to previous cases because I increase that VGG from 0 to now 7, right? My question is, what will going on to happen with the density of minority charge carrier, attracted minority charge carrier between drain to source? Will it going on to increase or will going on to remain at 1000?
It remains at 1000.
It is going to remain at 1000. Yes, very nice. Why? Because we are considering total available minorities are only 1000 right now. So if that minorities will going on to remain at 1000, how much will be the maximum current through that channel? Yes, it will
20
remain
milliamp.
20 milliamp. Very nice. Even if still I increase it to 7, 8, 9, 10, that current will going on to remain as a constant. Is it? So see, when we are getting maximum current, we are getting that maximum current at when VGS was 6 volts, and this is known as VGS max. So the suggestion is what? By the manufacturer, it is provided in the data sheet, don't exceed that VGS beyond this given value. Why? No use. Or there may be a chance of damage. If we will go on to exceed this VGS max, then there is a chance of damage of that device. As well as by increasing that VGS beyond VGS max, there is no use because current will not go on to increase. Is it? So see, this ID, can we call it as ID max? Because beyond this value, current will not going on to exceed. Current will not going on to increase. So whatever ID we are getting, when VGS was equals to VGS max, this is known as ID max. ID stands for what? It is a drain current, right now. So this ID max, in another way, it is also written as IDSS. That is drain to source saturated current, IDSS. Is it clear now? Yes or no?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, by this discussion, what you concluded? Output current, we will call this drain to source terminal as output and input gate. Gate terminal as the input terminal, drain to source as the output terminal. Okay? Source is common. We will consider that source is common because at the input side, whatever VGG we are applying, it is applied to the gate with respect to source. Output voltage, where it is applied to the drain with respect to what? Again, source. That means source is common right now. You already studied about the BJT and its configurations, various configurations, as well as you might have studied JFET and its various configurations that we can connect it by 3 different ways in the circuit, right? So here I will try to show simply, we are considering the shown MOSFET like this. If this one is drain, this one is source, and this one is gate. So this is known as a input port of that device, and this one is known as output port. Okay. Is it clear? So from this discussion, what is your conclusion regarding the output current? Output current is dependent on something, and if yes,
Yes.
okay, if yes, now on which it is dependent?
Minority charge.
Attracted minority charge carrier, right? But that attracted minority charge carrier also dependent on what? Something input, na?
VGS.
Very nice. 100%.
VGS.
Yes, 100% correct. That ID I can write here dependent on what? VGS. Or is it dependent on input current or input voltage? See,
Input voltage.
yes, input voltage is nothing but VGS. Input current is nothing but IG. The current flowing through the input terminal is known as a input current or IG, right now. And that IG it always remains zero. That thing is already we discussed due to SiO2 layer. The charge carrier will not going on to flow from gate to source. Even if that gate to source, VGG is applied. There will be no flow of current because of SiO2, right now. So first thing you have to remember the output current that is dependent on input voltage. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Again, one more thing that will be the secondary dependent parameter. Here, I can say ID that will be dependent on output voltage, VDD. Yes or no? So see how. Even if I applied input voltage as a 4 volt, right? What we discussed, there will be a flow of output current of 5 milliamperes. Right now, as per this our consideration. But now see, if I applied that input voltage as a 4 volt, which is sufficiently large voltage because it is greater than threshold, we are expecting that output current as a 5 milliampere. But if I keep this VDD to 0 volt, what is the source of drain current or output current? Source of that output current is output voltage. Remember, that is VDD or VDS. So if it is kept at 0 volt, whatever may be the value of input voltage, that is VGS, output current will remain 0. Are you agree with this? So this is the secondary dependent parameter of that ID. See, when current flows, when there will be somewhat voltage source. Here, which current we are considering, that is output current, that is ID, drain current. But what is the source of that current? If there is no voltage source, no current will be going to flow. Yes or no? So there should be a non-zero voltage source. Then and then there will be a non-zero ID. But when that VGS will be sufficiently large. Am I right? Next point, I will go to highlight. Suppose there is non-zero output voltage, that is VDD. We are expecting non-zero ID due to that voltage source. But if input voltage is not sufficiently large, or if input voltage is less than threshold voltage, the current will remain 0, whatever may be the value of VDD. Am I right? Are you getting it? This point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So don't forget about the source of that output current also. That output current is dependent on input voltage. It is 101% correct. But during that consideration, you have to remember there should be a non-zero voltage source. Then and then there will be a non-zero output current by changing the input voltage above threshold level. So I think it will be very clear to you. I will suggest just keep the snapshot of this consideration because later on we will require these values. Take that screenshot. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will remove this thing and whatever discussion we've done, we will try to plot it graphically. Okay. I will go on to plot a graph in between dependent and independent parameter. I will select the first quadrant to plot the same. What we have to do? We have to plot whatever we discuss. Is it? So on x-axis, what I should take? X-axis is dependent or independent? Don't know? X-axis is dependent axis or independent axis?
Dependent.
And why? Independent. It is not like that. Remember, on x-axis, whatever parameter you have to take, that should be the independent parameter. So here, already you told, you given the answer. So is it visible and may audible na properly? Okay. So see, we have to plot whatever we discussed. So x-axis we will take independent parameter, and on y-axis I will take the dependent parameter, right? So dependent parameter is ID. So I will take it on y-axis, that is ID in milliamps, right? Now, if I apply that VGS equals to 0 volts, how much is the value of ID? ID was 0. If I applied VGS equals to 1 volt, how much was the value of ID? It remains 0 because the applied VGS, that is input voltage, it is less than threshold voltage. So up to threshold voltage, what we discussed, whatever may be the value of output voltage, output current will go on to remain 0 because the input, that is controlling voltage, it is less than its threshold level, right? So when it is 1, still that ID will go on to remain as 0. When it is equals to 2, again it will go on to remain as 0. And when it will be equals to 3 volts, and that is nothing but VT, threshold voltage, there will be a non-zero but very small amount of current. So you will observe when that VGS equals to VT, ID will get increased from 0 to 1 milli. Are you agree with this? And later on, when it is equals to 4, that ID becomes 5 milli. I will show it like this. When that VGS is 5 and when that VGS is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 volts. And that 6 volts we are considering as a VGS max because that current reaches to its maximum value. So see what is happening or how we can plot it now. When that VGS is equals to VGS max, current becomes IDSS. Is it clear? This is nothing but 5 milli. This is nothing but again 12 milli. And when VGS is 6 volt, that ID becomes 20 milli, which we are calling it as a IDSS. Is it visible to all properly?
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Okay. So see, we plotted one characteristic. That characteristic is in between controlling voltage and controlled current. Or in general, this characteristic is known as, it is the characteristic in between controlling parameter and controlled parameter. Controlling and controlled. Remember the difference between this. Controlling versus controlled one. So what is controlling? In this case, controlling parameter is input voltage, that is VGS in volt, and what is controlled one? Controlled one is output current, that is ID in milliampere. Is it clear? So remember, such characteristic between controlling and controlled, input controlling and output controlled, is known as transfer characteristic. So this characteristic of MOSFET is known as transferred characteristic. What is the transfer characteristic? It is the characteristic in between controlled and in between controlling and controlled parameters. Here we concluded VGS, it is a controlling parameter, and controlled one is output current, that is ID, which is equals to that ID, it increases from its 0 value to IDSS. Okay. Again, you will observe this characteristic is not linear. Even if we increase the voltage with a constant step size, the increase in current, it is not with the constant step size. And that's why this characteristic or this device is also known as a non-linear device, that you have to remember. In case of during our prerequisite, also What we seen that diode was a non-linear device. Diode forward characteristic also looks like this, right now. So both the devices are, you have to remember, the semiconductor devices are non-linear devices because of what? Why the semiconductor devices are non-linear? Because the PN junction offers the dynamic resistances, right? Now this is the simple answer for that. Okay. So is it clear up to over here, or you have some doubts or queries? You can ask. Otherwise, we have to stop because our time is also over. Is it clear about the transfer characteristic? What is happening exactly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we will stop, and from the next lecture, we'll take the next characteristics, and again we will conclude few parameters over there also. MOSFET current equation, that drain current equation, that also we'll discuss from the next lecture. In case of JFET, you might have studied that drain current equation, that is ID equals to IDSS in bracket 1 minus VGS by VP bracket square, and that equation is known as Shockley's equation. If you can recall, or if you have previous year book, you just check it. That Shockley's equation for drain current of JFET, junction field effect transistor, is ID equals to IDSS in bracket 1 minus VGS by VP bracket square. Similarly, in case of MOSFET, as already I told, the drain current equation is ID equals to K times VGS minus VT bracket square. About what is that K, what is that remaining terms, that also we'll discuss in detail. How much is the value of that K, or if it is not given, how it is to be determined. That things also we'll discuss whenever we will complete the another characteristic, that is the output characteristic, right? So we'll stop here now, and